Hello everyone, Alex here, ready to bring you episode 10 of Guild Wars Corner. So here I am in Lion's Arch, and I just want to show you real quick. I mentioned last week about Breast Cancer Awareness Month and that they're selling pink dyes for breast cancer awareness. And I was in Lion's Arch, I'm looking for the lady that's actually selling them, and she's not down here in the merchants area where you see the normal dye trader. She's actually up on the top of the hill up here. So if you're looking for her, that's where she is, and she says pink dye vendor, and she's up at the top here. And I'll just mosey on up here so we can take a look-see and see what it looks like. So here she is, and this is where you can get the pink dye. And I experimented with some of the armors with the pink dye. Now normally I'm not a pink dye person, it just doesn't mesh with some of the aesthetics, but amazingly when I tried it on a couple armors, there were some armors that didn't look really good, but there's some armors that did look really good, and this is one of them right here. Not this one, but the one I'm going to put on. It's my Enchantress, and put on the hose. Now that looks really good. You can see the pink come out very, very well. I had a monk armor that I tried pink on, and it looked really washed out, but with the Elite Enchantress armor, it looks really good. I mean, you can actually see the color come out very, very well. So I was very pleased how this came out. So in support of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, I may be rolling with this armor for a while and see how it goes. So that's been what's going on with regards to this. Now there's an event, I think it's 2 weekends from now. I'll have more details a little bit later, and that will be for the actual fundraising for the Canadian Breast Cancer Society and what they're doing to raise money through Guild Wars. Not just Guild Wars 1, but Guild Wars 2. In Guild Wars 1, where we're at, it's going to be in Lion's Arch, International District 1. Again, we'll have more details later, so stay tuned, and hopefully it'll be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. So that's what's been going on with that. Now, I got an email a couple days ago, maybe about 2 days ago, and I really want to pass this along. A big shout out to one guy here, but I want to pass this along because one of the things I've been pointing out has been PvP, or the lack of PvP, or if you want to get in PvP. And it's difficult because PvP can be one of those things where if you don't know how to get into it, or get into the right group, or get into the right people, it's hard to get into it. And it's also a very different play style than that of PvE. So here's a note. If you want to get into PvP, we have a very nice guy gave me a note here. His name is Holy Heal. Holy Heal, and he is offering to help train for PvP. So this guy, he's been in Guild Wars for quite a while. He's got about 5,500 hours in Guild Wars, and has gone through prophecies and everything else, but he's mostly focused on PvP. He would like to help all the new players trying to get into Guild Wars with the PvP and help you guys out. So I'm going to link his information into the video here, and you can hit him up. Best way to do it is inside Reddit, or in Team Quitter, or in game. Again, you'll see the information here, but it's a very big help, and I've not tried it myself. I may want to pretty soon, just to see what it is. He's willing to help out for anyone with curiosity and growth and things like that. So my recommendation is when you work with him, remember his time is limited, your time is limited, so make the best use of it. Get a class that you want to learn, either a necromancer or warrior or ranger, monk, whatever you like to do, one you really like to play and you want to dive in and get some help on doing that in PvP. And think of the more of the classes that are used in PvP, so that'd be like monks and mesmers and warriors and things of that. Elementalists is another one. Those would work really well, and try him out. He might be, I think he'll be pretty good, or maybe quite good actually, probably better than I am. I could lead you astray, but this guy won't. And the other thing is, with PvP, it really helps to know someone who has contacts in the community. Unfortunately, I do not, but this guy probably has a nice Rolodex to tap into. So not only can you learn PvP from this guy, he can point you in the right direction. If you want to get into the right group, with the right guild, and those people like that, he's the guy you want to go to. So again, check him out if you want to get into PvP. You know, hit him up in Reddit and things like that. Schedule a session. You'll have to, you know, kind of negotiate what you want to do. But you know, throw some plats his way. You know, he's probably in the game for long enough that has playing. But you know, try to give him something because he is giving his time, you know, to help you. So anyways, that is a nice big shout out to Holy Heal. So give him a new chance here, he'll get you going. So let's see, another news. I'm very pleased to announce I got a new mic coming. So my mic is garbage when I first started, and if you listen to any of my previous videos, you hear breathing, you hear all sorts of stuff. Unfortunately, the boom's really sensitive, and there's no way to reposition it without getting my breathing on it, or you know, through the nostrils or through the mouth or anything else. I want to make sure that you guys get a good production of this video, and I want to improve my video. So getting a mic was number one. Also, number two is getting a good capture of Guild Wars. So right now, again, I'm doing the full screen capture, but I'm only doing it at half resolution through Fraps. Because if I do full resolution with Fraps, the game slows to a crawl. It goes from 60 frames per second down to like 15 frames per second. And I've been doing a lot of research to see why that's the case. But frankly, from what I can tell, it's not the CPU and it's not the RAM. I have a very powerful machine. I ordered it last year. 6 CPUs, multi-threaded, I think like 32 gigabytes of RAM. I mean, there's no lack of power in this thing. And this is an older game too, so it has no problem running this. The problem is that Fraps grabs the screens from the actual frame buffer inside the video card, and there's almost nothing you can do about that. So looking at all other alternatives, I'm looking at actual hardware capture cards. I tried some of the other software, and then that's what I did at Labor Day weekend. We had Labor Day weekend. I was trying all sorts of software, and I frankly just came back to Fraps. It was actually the best one out of the group without killing my machine. So looking into that, so hopefully I can get like a full HD resolution, so you can look at it in a much more crisp video than what we got now. But you know, for the moment, we'll see how it goes. So it's looking pretty good. Now, one of the things I've been meaning to do is start a new class that I want to try out. And there's still several classes I want to try out. One of the big ones was a Ranger, and I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, I want to try Ranger, and then I said, screw it. I actually created a Paragon. Now, Paragon, which is native to Nightfall, is a very interesting class, and I just started playing with him, started to move him up through the lower tier missions. He's only around level 10 here. Here you see me playing him, I think in the second mission in Nightfall, starting as a new character. And he's pretty interesting. He's an interesting character, but I can understand why he's also the least used class in the game, because he is a little hard to categorize in any one particular area. So I had a good buddy of mine who was playing a warrior, and we were talking about the Paragon. He said, he tried Paragon, he just couldn't get into it. And playing him now, I can understand why, because the Paragon is not an offensive powerhouse. Like, he's not a warrior, although he uses a lot of the same warrior mechanics. He's got a lot of his spear skills that use adrenaline, so it's easy to think, well, this guy's a kind of a short range warrior, not melee range, but he's a little bit shorter range. Well, he's actually not. He is a support character that can also do some heavy physical offensive damage as well. But it's one of those things, it's half and half. So he's not in one category or the other, or even three categories: offensive, attack, offensive spells, or chants. In this case, he does shouts and chants, and defensive support chants. And this is where it takes a really good understanding of the game, understanding the group, and what you're going up against if you're going to use the Paragon effectively. But I've been having a lot of fun with him, actually. I think one of the reasons is, and it's not even related to Guild Wars, when I was in EVE Online, I was a pilot of a command ship, and the command ship is very much like a Paragon, where you give out support to your team, your group, but you also do some damage, but you're not strictly damage. You're kind of a backup in that. With the Paragon, his shouts, his chants can really bolster your group very, very well, but you gotta be willing to kind of take that mentality too. So it's almost, you kind of need like a mentality for a monk almost, but not strictly support and also have the offensive mentality of, say, like a ranger or something like that. So it requires two different things. Now, the nice thing about the Paragon is that he uses shouts and chants, and shouts and chants affect the whole group as long as they're within earshot, which is a pretty large range actually. But the way the shout and chant works is that you get a bonus from the shout and chants, but it doesn't work like an enchant. It doesn't stay on. So, for example, if you have a, I think, Ballad of Restoration, if you use a spell or skill, you get 45 or 50 health when you do. But it's not an enchantment where if you do it, you get the bonus and it stays on. Once you do it, the shout comes off of you. So it's a one-time thing. You get that one-time bonus, but it applies to the whole group and it's very cheap. And the Paragon can keep doing it and keep doing it and keep redoing shouts and chants, and it can really, really bolster your group. So, for example, there's one that can really help with energy management. So if you have a large group of elementalists, mesmers, necromancers, any of the caster types, or rangers or warriors that are heavily dependent on energy and mana and not so much on adrenaline, this is a great guy to have around. One of those things, shouts, that can come up, and you can really get some good energy from that. You get +4 when you use a skill, and so you can get basically a free skill, and it helps out with your energy management, and that applies to the whole group. Well, you multiply that by 8, assuming a group of 8, and that's a lot of energy. That's 4 times 8 energy, 32 energy. So that's really good. And the same with the health, same thing with the bonus damage, like Fire Anthem, where all the melee people, if they use a skill, it sets their foe on fire for 3 seconds. That's a lot. Of course, if the melee is all ganging up on one target and they all trigger at the same time, it really doesn't do anything. It just triggers one, and you can't stack them. So you have to be smart when you're using it. If you see your partner melee use it on one, you gotta actually hold back from using a skill if you're also a melee and trying to double apply the burning effect. You want to chain the burning effect, but you don't want to double apply it because you don't get any bonus for that. So the Paragon, an interesting class to play. I would not recommend it for new players, but I would definitely recommend for players that like to support their teams, but they don't need that direct support like you have with a monk or a healing ritualist. It's really more the support of along the lines of an order necromancer and maybe a spirit spamming ritualist and things like that, where you could spread it out across the whole group and not worry about targeting directly one particular individual or one in particular enemy in this case. So again, just starting out Paragon, he's quite a bit of fun. I gotta get more into him, but it's pretty neat. I do recommend try him out, but I wouldn't try him out until you try out some of the other classes and you know how they work and how they work well. So, but like I said, I can see why he's the least used in the game, but that does not mean he's ineffective. He can actually be quite effective. Now, that takes some time to learn how to make him really, really effective. Hopefully, I can do that, and we can go through more detail in the Guild Wars Academy videos. And that brings up another point. Again, I wanted to do the Guild Wars Academy videos with the new mic. It should come in tomorrow. Hopefully it will. The postman will bring it in, and I get to play it this weekend and get this Guild Wars Academy videos up. So that's going to be my next goal. So in lieu of a Guild Wars Corner, say on Sunday, we may get a Guild Wars Academy video. In fact, I'll make that my plan. I got a birthday party on Sunday, but other than that, I'm pretty free this weekend. So anyways, I'm going to kind of end the episode here. It's going to be, like I said, a little bit shorter, although some of these episodes are starting to push up to 17, 18 minutes, which is quite good. But got to keep enough material going to keep these episodes going. So anyway, guys, I hope you're having fun, having a great time, and look for Guild Wars Academy. I'm going to do that next as soon as I get this new microphone, play it out, try it out. It's going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully the quality of the videos will step up as well, as I mentioned. So, good guys, and I'll talk to you soon.